when we look back at the history of life on Earth.
There is one silhouette that immediately triggers a primal instinct of fear. We have given it many names throughout pop culture: the king, the tyrant, the monster.
But for the animals that lived in the twilight of the Cretaceous period.
66 million years ago, this creature was not a movie monster. It was a biological inevitability.
A walking event horizon from which nothing could escape. Forget the roaring beast you see in cinema, charging blindly at jeeps.
Of the tree of the Tyrannosaurus Rex was far more terrifying. It was a creature designed by millions of years of evolution.
To be the ultimate termination point of the food chain.
To understand why it is the scariest dinosaur in history.
We have to dismantle the myths and look at the engineering of the animal itself.
Imagine a world where the atmosphere is thick with oxygen, and the humidity clings to your skin.
The forests of what is now North America are dense,
filled with towering redwoods and murky swamps.
But against the Tyrannosaurus, silence was not enough.
The first thing you need to understand is its sensory array.
This was not a mindless brute. It was a high-tech sensor platform wrapped in 6 tons of muscle. Its olfactory bulbs, the part of the brain dedicated to smell, were massive.
Proportionally, they were among the largest of any terrestrial animal in history.
It could smell a carcass or a living, breathing meal from miles away,
before you could even see it.
It would have already tracked your scent through the dense undergrowth.
You are being hunted long before you realize you are in danger.
And then there are the eyes.
Cinema tells us that if you stand still, it cannot see you. This is perhaps the most dangerous lie of all.
The T-Rex had binocular vision, facing forward.
Overlapping to create depth perception superior to that of a modern hawk.
It could see a moving object, or a stationary one.
With crystal clarity from nearly 4 miles away.
In the dim light of the Cretaceous forest, its vision was its second weapon.
It didn't need you to move.
It could distinguish your shape against the ferns perfectly.
Let's talk about the sound. The T-Rex likely didn't roar.
Roaring is for show. It's for intimidation that wastes energy.
A true apex predator lost communicates in low-frequency infrasound.
It would produce a closed-mouth rumble.
A vibration so deep that you wouldn't just hear it, you would feel it.
In your lungs and your bones.
A subsonic dread that triggers a panic response.
Before your brain even registers the noise.
This is the sound of approaching death. Now, consider its physical construction.
The Tyrannosaurus was not a slow, lumbering giant.
While it wasn't a sprinter like a cheetah,
It was an endurance walker with a horrifying burst of speed.
Its legs were powelled by massive caudofemoralis muscles. Attached to its tail, propelling it forward with terrifying momentum.
In an ambush, it could close the distance.
Between the tree line and its prey in seconds.
But the true terror lies in the business end of the animal, the skull.
It is 5 feet of solid bone, fused and reinforced.
To withstand impacts that would shatter the skeleton of any other dinosaur.
Inside this skull are 60 serrated teeth. Some the size of bananas, but shaped like railroad spikes.
These were not knives for slicing meat. They were crushing tools.
When a T-Rex bit down, it delivered a force of over 12,000 pounds per square inch.
To put that in perspective, that is enough pressure to crush a car.
It didn't just tear flesh, it pulverized bone.
It ate the prey, skeleton and all.
The sound of a T-Rex feeding would have been the sickening crunch of bones.
Echoing through the valley.
This animal also possessed a terrifying level of intelligence.
Its brain-to-body ratio was exceptionally high for a dinosaur.
It wasn't just instinct, it was calculation.
There is evidence suggesting they may have hunted in pairs or family groups.
Imagine not just one, but 2 of these 6-ton shadows coordinating an ambush.
One to flush the prey, the other to deliver the killing blow.
The environment it lived in was equally hostile.
The Hell Creek Formation was a place of floods, fires, and darkness.
The T-Rex thrived here. It was the master of disaster management.
It could scavenge when necessary, hunt
when opportunity arose.
And dominate every other predator in its ecosystem.
It had no natural enemies.
It was the only thing in its world that never had to look over its shoulder.
The terror of the Tyrannosaurus stems from its absolute dominance.
Evolution spent millions of years perfecting the theropod body plan.
And the T-Rex was the final draft.
It was the culmination of carnivorous design. It had the eyes of an eagle, the nose of a bloodhound, the brain of a chimp, and the bite of a hydraulic press.
To end the age of dinosaurs, the T-Rex was still the undisputed king.
It faced extinction at the absolute peak of its power.
So, when we ask, what is the scariest dinosaur in history?
We don't look for the weirdest spikes or the longest claws.
We look for the most efficient killer.
The one that leaves you with no options.
You cannot hide because it can smell you.
You cannot stand still because it can see you. You cannot fight back because it will crush you.
The Tyrannosaurus Rex remains the scariest creature to ever walk the Earth.
It's Sun 5. It's that. Not because of what we see in the movies,
but because of the cold, hard, biological reality of what it truly was.
A perfect machine. A nightmare made of flesh and bone.
And we should be very, very thankful that it is gone.